Welcome to another RV interview. I'm here with Jenn Stark, who's the author of the Immortal Vegas series. And you know, Jen, part of my problems are I was trying to remember which name of yours to say because I know you.
Insane.
You're the only one I'm doing this interview with that I'm actually really good friends with. Mm-hmm. I know these other authors, most of them, but you've been to my house.
I have.
You've played with my cats. Yeah.
I have, and there are many of those.
I know.
So,
yeah. Many cats at the house. Yeah,
I know.
So I know you really well. So tell us, you're Jenn Stark.
I am Jenn Stark. Yes.
Of the Immortal Vegas series, and then who else are you?
I'm also Jennifer Chance.
That's
and
right.
with that series, I am writing Gowns and Crowns, which is a modern royal. So
right, because I read some of that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that starts
Fantastic.
with Courted. That just started this past year, and it's contemporary romance.
And that's the one I read, right?
It is Courted.
Yeah, that was so good.
Oh, well, thank you. And then
Charming.
I also have Jennifer Mcgowan, and that's my young adult name, and I write historical Elizabethan spy stories with that.
So you're like spreading it out everywhere now,
I
right?
have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So do you do how many books a year?
Well, this past year, since August, I've published 7 books and 1 novella.
Wow.
Yeah, and not including the Mcgowan book.
So some of those were maybe already written and you just got them into the publishing cycle?
Yes, yeah.
You didn't write all 7 of those?
I wrote 5 of them since August.
Man,
which is a lot. Yeah.
So you're a writing machine.
I am, but it's interesting. This was the year that I really wanted to make it as a full-time writer because I have been a freelance writer for many years. And before that, I was in corporate communications, and I made it all the way up to a vice president of corporate communications. It was all very great, but I always wanted to be a writer.
But it wasn't writing.
It wasn't writing.
Right.
And so then I balanced writing with freelance for many years. And this year I thought, Jen, let's try it. And so I did. And I was very lucky. That actually was the Immortal Vegas series that readers seem to really be responding to.
Yeah.
And so it's been wonderful. It's been lightning in a bottle in a way, but I've also worked hard. So it's neat to see that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen without the hard work.
Yeah, but it's neat to see that it still can happen, because people are always like, oh, well, all of the halcyon days of that kind of success are gone. And it's different, but it's still doable. And so it's just so great.
You just got to work extra hard.
You do.
Way back when I first started, they said it's
way
so
back.
much harder now. Well,
I
back
know.
in '96,
Yeah.
it was my first
Well,
book.
true.
So
Yeah.
that's way back, Jen. That's going way back. And they said it was harder then than it had been. I think every
time,
every 5 years, it's harder. And right now, with the internet the way it is, where people can zip a book off to an editor via email.
Right.
I mean, I used to have to package those suckers up and mail them.
When I first started writing, it was in 1999, I think. That was when I first started trying to get published. And the first manuscript that I set off, I was so nervous that it would be injured in some ways. I wrapped the whole thing in duct tape, and it was ridiculous. It was like a football by the time I was done. And shockingly, that book did not sell.
Well, you know why? Because the editor couldn't get it open.
They probably thought it was a bomb.
I remember an editor told me one time that was a complaint. She said, they send this stuff like it's gold. She goes, and I have to wrestle 20 minutes to get it open. I'm sure she wasn't talking about you,
no,
Jen.
couldn't have been.
And she said, what happened to those packages where there's a zip thing you pull across and you can open it up and get it out?
Right.
Well, we're afraid it's going to get caught on a conveyor belt somewhere and rip open and pages will be everywhere.
And back in the day, it was forever to get that ream of paper copy.
It was.
Right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just, I'll just have it on my flash drive.
Right. It was a costly enterprise
It was.
because I had to mail to Canada, which was expensive.
Right.
And you had to print off your book, plus another copy in case they lost the one you printed off,
Right.
It was terrible. And then you would wait 6 months to a year, so.
Well, and it was so funny when I finally sold my very first book in 2011, and it came out in 2013. That was to Simon & Schuster.
I kind of remember that, the long wait between.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
it was
that's
hardcover, right?
Yeah, it was hardcover, and that's very typical for young adult.
Right.
But my editor edited on paper, and so I was petrified that would get lost in transit from him. So it was all Post-it notes and little notes that he wrote on the paper, as opposed to electronically, which most of them do now. But that took me back to the 90s. And when I made my changes to it, I actually scanned the manuscript
with the sticky notes on it,
so that I had record. So it is.
See, I
crazy.
preferred that because I would do any of that kind of stuff. I would sit in my bed and do it, and I would have paper spread out
all
everywhere.
over the place.
Now it's all digital,
right? And with my eyesight,
Yeah.
There are times I'm like, I cannot look at another screen. I just can't do it. Yeah.
Right. And I'm sometimes just afraid I'm going to miss something because it's a tiny little thing, because it's digital. You can't see it where they used to do.
Right.
Plus, when you don't like something, when you would write "stet" in red on the side, it was
very,
much more rewarding
it was.
than just unclicking.
Totally validating.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I reject this. Yes.
I'm not sure what "stet" means. For me, it meant no.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I'm
We're
sure.
not doing this.
Now, of course, I'm determined to figure out what steppe means.
I don't
but
know. Something in Latin.
Yeah, it has to be. Which means it probably means no.
But I got to tell you, so you've written all those books, and with the event that I'm doing, what is the date right now? It's June 9th. So this, because everybody might not see this right at the right time, we're doing the reader-author get-together.
Right.
Every time I needed something, you put your hand up. Where in the world do you find the time?
Well, it's you.
Well,
and, you know.
Thank
so
you.
and I've met your cats.
You've been to my house.
I've been to your
cats.
house, right? Yeah. So,
I mean, it really was. I really appreciate that. You're obviously one of those very giving people. Now, is that exclusive to me, or do you do that, or do you do that to everybody with your busy schedule?
Well, I don't do it for everyone, obviously, but it's just who I am.
Yeah,
you know, and then plus I'm close here, so that helps too. It's a little easier for me to be more flexible.
How's that saying go? If you want something done, ask a busy
person.
Yeah.
And you know, I found that to really be true. I've even thought about helping to resuscitate the local RWA chapter.
I wondered about that.
You know, because that was
because you don't have enough on your plate. So.
Right, I know. But that was so helpful for me when I was first getting started. You know, the very first event that I had was a conference for OVRWA.
Same here.
And I went there and I saw Linda Keller.
Right.
And I'm like, hi, you know, and would you show me around? And they were so nice. And here I am, however many years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, and this is my job, you know, and it wouldn't have happened, I don't think, without a.
See, I think we both feel so incredibly fortunate.
Yes,
don't we? Well, I mean, this is like I hear people talk about writing like it's working in the coal mine.
I know. I say, well, it's not like I'm shoveling guts here. People.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So,
it has its problems sometimes.
It does.
Like but who else gets to sit in their pajamas at home and ignore the phone calls, and do what they love doing,
right?
You know,
no,
I mean, that's a blessing
true.
all in itself,
right.
I think.
And you're in sort of a fugue when you're writing, and then you deliver something, and you look around, and you're like, who messed up my house?
Right.
Like,
Life
how
went on
how
somehow.
did this happen? Right. Where all these, you know, what all happened with all these dishes and everything?
Right.
So yeah. But it is a blessing. It's a great.
Do you remember to eat when you're writing? Because I had another author said she forgets to eat when she's writing, and that's all I do is eat when I'm writing.
Well, right. I don't miss too many meals, but but I have to remember to move.
Yeah, me too. I'll lock my legs on the chair, and you go to stand up, and your legs are rubber.
Yes, and I actually got a Fitbit, and I was shocked at how little I moved during the course of a really heavy writing.
If they would count your fingertips.
Oh, it'd be amazing. It would be amazing.
All kind of exercise.
But no, it is true. I have to remember to actively work out and get up and down and move around and stuff because. Otherwise, everything cracks when I stand up.
See, I like it when we're at the lake, and then I can get up and move and walk down the hill and take a boat ride and walk back up the hill and do some more riding.
Right. No,
but we just haven't been there yet this year. That's much better than walking outside and checking on the cats or something.
Right.
It's not nearly as interesting.
And I have a cat as well, so I know that rotation.
I did not know you had a cat.
I do.
How long have you had a cat?
I got her when she was, it was in 2003, and she was just a baby at that point. And a friend of mine was one of those people who rescued everything on four legs.
Like me. Yeah. Okay.
And then she had to move back to San Diego. And so being that person, she's like, oh, Jen, I think you'd be great with a cat.
I know, Jen will help everyone.
Jen will, right. And so I got Lucy, and it is interesting, a rescued dog knows it's been rescued.
Right, cat just rescued you.
Right, the cat's like, how long can you possibly take to rescue me? Because I'm on a schedule.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, but
so how old's the cat now? You think?
She is now, I'd say, about 12 or 13.
Yes, we're getting
so
up there,
yeah.
Like my old kitties, yeah.
Yeah. So, but she every morning, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
She's time to be fed. Right.
That's right.
Even if I just went to bed at 2, doesn't matter.
Can you set the food out? And does she needs to see?
Oh no, she's one of those cats that will eat it all, in one sitting.
And then come back at 4.
Yeah, because that's happened actually. I'll wake up super early and I'll feed her and then I'll go back to sleep and wake up again. And she's like, "You have not fed me. I am so hungry." And
there's no food in that dish.
And I can't remember, because did I feed her? No, you didn't. I feel like I've been had here.
Have you ever written this cat into a book? Because this cat needs to be in a book.
Oh my gosh. Well, I found out years later that the reason why they called her Lucy was short for Lucifer. And the reason why I found it was I took her to the vet.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd never heard a cat make that noise. So anyway.
So now you know why.
Right.
Okay, now eventually I'm going to need pictures of Lucifer.
Yes, because she's a long-haired Russian blue cat, so she's
she
beautiful.
Lovely.
But
she sounds lovely. I'm sure my cats would all hate her because they hate every cat they don't already know.
Well, she would hate them too, so at least it would be mutual.
Cats tend to do that.
Right, right.
They're not like we friendly writers here.
I know. We're so outgoing. We love people. We just love hanging around people all the time.
Said facetiously.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Well, Jen, thank you so much. This was super fun. You were awesome. Readers are going to love this. Other cat lovers are going to love it.
Well, there's that. Yeah,
there is that. Dog lovers are going to want to know why we've got cats.
What's your issue? Yeah. So, right. Well,
thank you
I
so
appreciate
much.
it.
I appreciate it.
All right.